Getting near the end of the season, and here we are at the St. Croix Bassmaster Open, presented by 7 on the Mississippi River, the upper Mississippi, La Crosse, Wisconsin, a tremendous fishery, always entertaining tests of the best anglers in the business, and today was no exception. 3 anglers distinguished themselves. Let's take a look at them. That's Chris Boudry, Cody Stahl, and Chris Hellebuck.
Tommy, when you think about the Bassmaster Elite Series earlier this year at Champlain, how it was 1 ounce from first to second, 3 ounces from first to third, that's the same recipe we get here at the Mississippi River. So many good largemouth and smallmouth in this body of water. Chris Boudry had 19 pounds on day 1, had a little bit of a step back with 15 on day 2, and boy, today he started strong. Bryan Schmitt with some topwater fish, a bonus 4.5-pound largemouth, followed up with another good one. He had a good start to his final day.
Heck of a start, man. You know, and all 3 of these guys are right there in pool 8. Looks like they dedicated to pool 8. This is going to be a close one, but he really started off with a bang. I don't know how big that fish is, but it looked a little bit bigger than 4.5.
Tommy had some odd adversity, had some concern, had a live well issue for a little bit there, had 3 small fish, didn't want to get stuck with any kind of deceased penalties, let him go. So he midday had to restart with just 2 fish basically.
Yeah, it's like they took a couple hours away from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then those afternoon he made a transition to his frog area, and boy, he had found that during the tournament and it paid off for him, and it may have bailed him out. He was dropped down to 8th place when he threw those fish back, and he still got up to the podium finish.
It's one of those great stories, a great comeback story today on the final day when it matters the most. Cody Stahl of Georgia started out, looked a little nervous at the weigh-in, like maybe he had something up his sleeve we didn't know about. He had some good fishing up his sleeve is what he had.
Other than maybe the lone Canadian in our top 10, he's probably one of the farthest anglers from here, from the Mississippi River in Georgia. But he said, the way I fish rivers in Georgia, current flow, multiple baits in play, I feel right at home. And I've been throwing a bigger swim bait. We saw him with a bladed jig. And then we saw him with a Carolina rig a little bit, Bryan Schmitt. But when he made the move to his 1 or 2 fish areas in the frog, that's where he started to make the jump.
You know, it's just really cool to see him fish some of these superly fished or super hard fished areas, community areas, but figure out something a little different, just as easy as picking a bigger bait. It's really cool for me to see. He's got some really nice fish in the live well, guys. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Tommy, Cody's one of those guys who's came up through every level. High school All-American, went to college at Savannah College of Art and Design, jumping into the Opens, and boy, he has worked his way from the co-angler side to the pro side, and we're seeing all of that hard work result in his first top 10. And wouldn't you want your first top 10, Tommy, to be a possible win as well?
And this was the big moment for him. A miss right at noon, straight up at noon, and there's just a couple of casts later, that giant comes in the boat.
Wow, what a bite.
When you think about how many 3s, 3.5s live in the Mississippi River, we've seen a ton of 4s to 5-pounders this week. The fish have definitely gotten bigger.
Michigan's Chris Hellebuck started the day with the lead, and a good lead as well. Well, not a good lead, actually a 2-ounce lead, but he built it into a giant lead over the first couple of hours of fishing there.
So consistent. Who would have thought, Bryan Schmitt, you've been on this river, you've won here multiple times, all smallmouth could keep him at the top with how many big largemouths we've seen, but he has just had a good baseline of 15 to 18 pounds. It's almost easy for him every single day.
And his fish were there again today, which is really cool, you know, to have 3 days straight just pounding one spot and for them to keep coming. He started out this morning on fire. He didn't let go. He's got a really good bag of fish. So these guys, you know, hey, anything can happen in the next few minutes, but he's got a really good bag of fish.
He said his smallmouth area, Tommy, was surrounded by great largemouth areas and saw a lot of anglers, but none really on his area. That high spot, 3 feet, rises up to 1 foot right under the surface. It is definitely a place the current has seamed up, and so many smallmouth. Didn't even see a largemouth from him today, but we got to see topwater come into play, a jig as well. And Chris really, when he could have ran around and did a bunch of things, he stayed put and trusted his area was the area to be at.
Yeah, with that all smallmouth situation, he's looking to make a little history there. It's a very rare occurrence for a Bassmaster event to be won with all smallmouth here in the upper Mississippi.
He's really had a topsy-turvy open season, Tommy, a bunch of triple-digit finishes, but in the last 5 events, he's been on a hot streak, and culminating in a big-time finish for him this week.
Well, as you can see, it's been an exciting day with plenty of ups and downs. And with that in mind, as you would expect, the ultimate moment for this one was something else.
Get him, Cody. I need you right here. The good news here is that means one of you guys is going to the Bassmaster Classic. We are that close. We're going to get side by side. 34 pounds and 6 ounces through his 2 days of fishing out of White Lake, Michigan. Let's welcome him to the stage. Chris Hellebuck. Bring him to us. 5 in the bag. 18-12 to take the championship. Right here, Cody, side by side, looking for 18-12. If it's anything less than that, it's Cody Stahl looking for 18-12. 18 pounds and an ounce, and Cody Stahl is going to be your champion here at La Crosse, Wisconsin. Rick, let's get that trophy up while we got the momentum going. One round of applause for Chris Hellebuck. That was a great finish. He's going to end up coming in second place with 52.7. And you, my friend, as we get this trophy up here, you're going to be walking away with $47,000 and a berth to that 2025 Bassmaster Classic.
God dang. Man, I'm speechless.
This is how much fishing means to these guys. Let's hear it for him as we get this trophy up on behalf of St. Croix Rods. Rick Miller with the hardware. And Cody, step right here in the middle in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Let's get loud for your champion, Cody Stahl out of Georgia. Going to be taking on the trophy. $47,857 later. And that is yours for the rest of your life.
Golly, man. To start the season out, not even thinking I deserve to be here and to compete with these guys, and after all the years of hard work and time on the water, God, it feels good to finally, bring one home and feel like I belong here. With all the, financial troubles, not troubles, but just.
We got to get that picture.
Man, just with being so tight, traveling and everything, just trying to make it happen and just gambling everything, just putting life on pause. It's just, man, it was a tough road, and just finally to bring one home and, get some money to, keep me going, and just get to fish the Bassmaster Classic against the best guys in the world. That's freaking phenomenal.
And we pointed about it, and I thought that was really cool about what Chris Boudry said. You fish as a non-boater with him in the Opens, but you have just steadily worked your way up that fishing ladder here under the Bassmaster umbrella, and now we're headed to the Bassmaster Classic.
Man, I told myself when I was, growing up, at 7 years old, I was driving out of Barry's boat dock fishing a Friday night tournament with my dad. And I had 4 out of the 5, and he had the smallest. We had like 16 and a half. And I remember driving down that dirt road when I was 7 years old, telling myself this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I want to make it pro. And I stuck with it when everybody else told me that I'm not going to make it. And I'm still, got a lot of work to do, and hopefully next year I can make it. But just to finally, bring one home, God, it just feels amazing. I've just had so much support over the years from even my fiance this year and even last year. She's been such a trooper dealing with everything, and just putting her life on pause also just to allow me to keep fishing and doing the sacrifices that it needs to happen in order to travel and qualify. And even TDS Mold, I've been working with them for the last couple of years, and just allow me to have the opportunity to take 9 weeks off. It's just been phenomenal. And all the GSM guys, this one's for y'all. Y'all took a chance on me, and especially Big Bite Bass and Alex Rods. Those are some of my longest sponsors for all my life. I've been running Alex Rods for the last 10 years, and they ended up sponsoring me back in high school. And just all the support over the years with even Big Bite Bass, they're like family to me. Back before GSM bought them, I actually stayed with Dennis and Joyce Montgomery to put me up when I moved to Eufaula, Alabama, and they're like family, and just all the support. I can't thank everybody enough, and it's just been a phenomenal week. Never would have thought this.
We got one more thing for you, and we'll get a picture of this. The Happy Gilmore check. Step right over here. Andy, is that all right? Hold that up. And let's hear it one more time for your champion, Cody Stahl, with 53 pounds and an ounce. $47,857 later. That'll help him get him back home to Georgia. All right, we'll have you step off, Cody. Go celebrate with everybody. We're going to get